Hello. Arwen,
Hey,
stop that already. It's being bad.
she knew exactly when he went live.
She's like, oh, you're live? Cool. Destruction.
Uh,
I don't understand what I'm going to do with that kitty. I'm just going to have to give up and accept the fact that my curtain's going to get scratched up, I think.
They'll break you down.
She's like, this is mine now. Finn will be joining us shortly. She had to run out and do something real quick. Did we? Oh, I guess Finn's the only one that can check that. If we got any questions this week,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
true.
I don't remember. I guess it doesn't tell us if anybody submitted a question, but we'll have to.
It's
We'll
a
have
party
to see.
night, so
There is. I mean, I guess a lot. Sort of a lot happened, but not a whole lot. I don't feel like this episode was as action packed. I mean, as packed full of like things that happened as like other episodes, but I think big things happened.
it definitely. It wasn't like balls to the wall the whole episode, but what happened had an impact.
Yeah. Was first time anyone has seen Isaiah since the first episode.
Yep.
So that was kind of exciting. Well, while we wait for Finn, why don't we go ahead and
definitely.
dive in and talk about our favorite moments. So we'll start with you, Sparta.
Uh, I definitely liked the whole fight scene. That was a lot of fun. But I also really liked the memorial. The memorial was really cool. You did a really good job with that. So Horn. I think I'll have to go with the memorial. The memorial was really cool,
Yeah, I liked the memorial. It was
and
fun.
it was very sweet, and it was very like heart, like it warmed the heart. You're like,
It
oh
was wholesome. Yeah.
yeah. So I would say that's my favorite part because Lev.
Yeah. Oh, Lev. We will miss you, Lev. Lev was amazing. What about you, Mimsy?
The thing is, like you guys were saying, it wasn't like a jam-packed episode. Um, the fight was probably my favorite.
That was our
Not.
first like big fight.
He fucked them up.
Yeah.
you could say that at least. Jesus.
What else were you gonna
And
say?
I think like yeah, the fight was probably because that was the first big fight they've had, like proper fight, and also looking on how everything started, they actually worked as a full unit.
Yeah.
Like they would gang up on people to take them out.
Yeah, that's very true. That was probably the first time that the coterie has worked together as a team that well.
Definitely.
Yeah. And for it
Yeah.
being their first like actual big fight, I'd say they did a pretty good job.
And I actually had a question for you about that fight. I don't know if
Okay.
you want to save it for a little bit later, but I do have a question about.
Yeah, write it down if you didn't. We'll cuz I'm sure we're going to unpack that fight a little bit. For me, my favorite moment, Oh, hello, Finn. Welcome back.
Back.
I think my favorite moment. Arwen, why? Look at my curtain. Arwen, stop. Come here, baby. Come here, Arwen. All I have to do is the baby voice and she comes running. Okay.
Of course.
He's like, what? What? You want to talk to me, Mom? Favorite moment. I think for me, I think it might have been the memorial as well. I really liked the memorial. By the way, like all of that was just on the spot, me doing it. The only thing that I had like in mind was that you guys were gonna go into the woods and like there was gonna be like this little area where it would look like maybe this is like a meeting area that they would go to and sit with their family and stuff. But other than that, like I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do or say. I was having a hard time planning it, so I just stopped trying and was like, I'll figure it out when it's time. 'Cause yeah, improv. But yeah, it was really fun to kind of like showcase that family and how they do things. And I thought that it was really fun to showcase Leo in that way because he's a really old vampire and you typically wouldn't necessarily see an old vampire like that is so not necessarily in touch with his humanity, but like cares that much, cares that deeply. You know what I mean? And I wanted to like showcase that. Void, thank you so much for the follow and welcome to the stream.
Definitely came across. Sure.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of cool, but it shows that thing that we've been talking about in a few of our podcasts, that like just because their humanity might be low doesn't mean that they're not capable of love and like, you know, loving each other and things like that. They're not capable of emotions. And that was really apparent with Leo and his family. And like, you know, they just lost someone that they love in their family and everyone's like deeply hurt and grieving. So it was kind of fun to showcase that in that way with their family. And Leo's family is fucking huge, so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's
and I love what he did with Lizzie too.
Little Lizzie. What about you, Finn? What was your favorite moment of the session?
I think my favorite moment was the whole like thing with Isaiah before they got there. Like, I was genuinely, as Finicia, I was freaking out half of the time. I was like, I need to do something about this. But then I was like, obviously, Jenna is not going to let me, like, do anything that big before anybody arrives. So, like, I just need to stay alive and do my best. Because, you know, like, it's like that middle ground where I can't do the most because obviously, like, Nyx is not stupid, so she wouldn't just risk her life for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But also, she's been waiting for this moment for a while.
Yeah, it was a pretty big moment for her.
Yeah.
And I love how she kept trying to, like, press him for questions, and he's like, I'm not going to answer your fucking questions. Like, I know you probably have lots of questions, but I'm not going to answer any of your questions.
Yeah. I was like, oh, great.
Wonderful.
Another person that doesn't want to answer my fucking questions. Great. Another riddle maker here. Like...
I loved that comment. You're like, my sire is like fucking Alejandro.
Hey!
So funny.
Been preparing you.
He's been preparing you. Surprise.
Yeah,
plot twist.
Like, at this point, I really don't. I can't even. Like, she was like, I can't even right now. She walked away and she was like, I can't.
She's like, I'm done with you.
Not,
whatever.
I'm done with this shit. I'm bored. And then that moment was probably my favorite.
I'm
When
bored.
Sophia and the three
Oh,
came
entertainment.
downstairs. I was like,
Soon as you started saying I'm bored, I was like, oh, I have an idea on how to spice things up, vampire style. Nyx isn't gonna like this at all, but I'm gonna enjoy this.
Right?
Yeah, that was an intense moment. I could tell you were feeling the intensity because you're like, you had that. It's so funny because like I understand it because I'm the same way. Like whenever I get like super like focused on something, like people always
bitch
think I'm
face. You see
angry.
the bitch face?
Yeah. And you're like, what are they doing? Like the way you were asking me, like, do they have weapons? Like you were like so aggressive, and I was like, damn, Finn, calm down. But like I understood like what was going on, and that's why I was just like, I don't know, sure, like what, like whatever, like they have whatever you want to think of in your mind right now.
I'm like, I need to know more information.
Oh, it was funny. You were like so stressed, like. What are they doing? Like, do they have weapons? Like,
No, I was stressed out. It was high adrenaline for me, but we made it. I made it out.
Oh,
So
God.
that was the important part.
It was funny. I was like, oh boy.
Definitely an intense moment.
She's feeling it. Yeah, we're talking about favorite moments. So feel free to share yours as well. Oh, look,
Let me check if
I
you
love
have
your
any
little blue. I am so used to seeing the red bowls. Yours is blue.
Oh yeah, I have a blue one now.
It's pretty. I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, there's
Favorite moments, yeah. Oh, I was saying feel free to share yours as well. Yeah, that was fun. As soon as I was like, if you would have phrased it differently, if you wouldn't have been like, I'm bored, like I want to do something, like I probably wouldn't have done that. But because you went there, my mind it was same as like when you guys were like, I wonder if there's like a room with refreshments, like same kind of like, as soon as you made that comment, I was like, oh, refreshments. I got it.
yes, we do have a cafeteria if you may.
There's like a salad bar with like
a whole human buffet.
Jeez.
Ready.
Oh goodness. Mine was Nyx trying to fuck Sophia. Jenna's amazingly smooth story writing, just cock blocking Nyx. It was uncomfortable but hilarious.
For real.
I was just saying that was my favorite moment. Like that whole like moment there at the house with Isaiah before the others arrived was my favorite.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like nobody, like everybody was like, no, you can't go, and I'm like,
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna fucking go. Like, and you're gonna have to trust me. You're gonna have to trust my big brain moment, okay?
That was really good.
Nobody wanted you to go.
And trust me, I and see if I actually learned my lessons and stuff. And I guess like Nyx did. I feel like she kind of proved a little bit of like
she went into that decently prepared, even though it was something that was like spur of the moment.
Yeah, and also like how the fuck do you prepare? You know what I mean? Like we didn't even have that much information about Isaiah. Nobody knows who the fuck this guy is. Like people
Still
know who Violet and Vincent were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were known in the lore of the city and shit like that. But who the fuck is Isaiah? Where did he come from? Why is he interested about like the king? Like when he said the king, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, my dude? Like you're weird.
He was just making chess references the entire time. Like this is a big game for him. That's what he kept just referencing the entire time.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm just over it. I'm over you and your fucking like chess riddles. Over it.
Definitely, Ivy. Vincent had a very bad night.
Yeah, that's when it got fucked up.
Vincent had it coming, so.
Oops. I swear, you guys. Arwen.
Let him do it.
Isaiah. Oh, and the penis monster.
Yeah, that broke me. I was like, I can't.
Oh, but it was so perfect.
It was perfect, but it broke me in that moment. I was like, no. No.
I was like, fuck you, chat. Seriously, like, why?
Why did you have to put that mental image in my head? Oh, goodness. 1 second. Okay. Somebody is messaging me. So we started off the night by going to the memorial, and we didn't get any context on what was going on with Lindsay and the gangrels, but that's something we can chat about. You guys can have your little speculations. Leo's family seems to hate Lindsay. And
So weird.
yeah, like no one wanted her there, especially that Lawrence guy. He was like really upset.
Not that weird, in my opinion. I don't know. I have like a thing. Didn't Lindsay like diabolarize a fucking gangrel?
That's what I'm thinking. I was actually thinking the same thing, because she did show Alejandro the gangrel traits. So they
Maybe it's
I'm
a known
speculating,
thing
do they
because,
know?
like, well, the thing is, there was I already big brained this. Let's see if Jenna like Jenna's like, yeah, sure, bitch. Like, let's see.
Come at me.
Hey, this is my opinion.
This is my opinion.
But I think I believe that she diablerized a gangrel when gangrel were being hunted down because of the whole prince, like the past prince thing drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like everything kind of goes, and it's the only like forgivable, like, you know, moment. Like if there's like if you're in the red list, in the red book of like vampires, you're gonna be killed in however you want. Doesn't
Right.
matter.
No one cares.
As long as you're done with it, it's fine. So, but what if they know that she did it, and like they're like, you fucking diablerized one of us, bitch, and then you took one of us at your service. Like, maybe it's also like a matter of honor, because Lev was like her lackey pretty much.
Yeah.
But Leo and Lizzie never actually showed any like dislike of her.
Mm-hmm.
But she almost certainly killed like a ton of gangrel during that hunt after Prince Doran was killed. So it could be an honor thing, but somehow she got into the good graces of Leo and Lizzie with Lev. But the rest of the family's like, fuck that shit.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it does have to do with the lore of the city and everything that happened with the gangrel. So you are on the right track with that thought process.
Right.
And
sometimes I have big brain moments.
and during that time, a lot of gangrel were run out of the city or fled because they were scared to die. They didn't want to die because gangrel were being hunted, basically. And Leo, I guess I could go ahead and reveal this because I don't think that Leo's story is really going to be showcased that much, but Leo, basically, the only reason Leo still resides in the city and has the relationship that he has is because of who he is. He was Doran's right-hand man, along with Pierre. And he was trusted by Doran. And Doran and Catalina have a connection. So Catalina knows who Leo is. And she knew Pierre as well, who is Sparta's sire. So the only reason why Leo sort of, like, Leo was one of the exceptions in that, like, that all that time period of him being, like, the Gangrels being hunted and things like that. He was basically the, like, only Gangrel that was truly trusted. So he was treated a lot differently. And with time, obviously, like, Lizzie, all of the rest of Leo's children, that's why Leo's children don't live in New Orleans, because they're basically like, fuck this, like, we're not you. They don't trust us. They trust you because they know you, but they don't trust us, even though we're your children. Like, they don't care. So that's why all of his children, except for Lizzie and Lev, was only 5 years old, I believe.
Aw.
He was a baby. I believe he was only he was like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
because
like that.
because that actually, I think, came out in the text RP because he was still in college.
Yeah.
And he was talking about modern technology. And
yeah,
stuff,
just like a few years ago. Yeah. So he was fairly young. So it makes sense that he's in the city because he's a young vampire. He doesn't, like, he's probably heard stories of, like, what's happened to the Gangrel, but he wasn't here and, like, run out of the city like his brothers and sisters. So that's why he lives there. And he also, Lev was born and raised in New Orleans. He's, like, was a citizen before, and now that he's dead, we can talk about him a little bit more. But Lev, which he did mention to Nyx at one point in character, he brought up the fact that he was, like, on his way to be a professional football player. So he had, like, when he died, he was like, yeah, like, you know, it's weird to, like, see, like, news articles about yourself when you're not actually dead. So he
was like, I wasn't a superstar like you, but I was pretty well known.
Yeah, he was. He was a college athlete that was being recruited to play pro, and he died. And Leo loves football, and he was, like, a fan of Lev and, like, loved Lev and had, like, followed Lev's journey because he was basically like a local superstar. Like, he lived in New Orleans. He grew up in New Orleans. He played high school and did all of that, went on to college. So when Lev I think it was Lev got in a car crash, I think is what I made for his story.
I remember
Leo
that
saved
he,
him.
like, almost, like, died for some reason.
Something. I think it was a car crash.
And then he got picked up by.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning it, something like in role play, like he died abruptly or something like that.
Yeah, it was like an accident.
An accident.
A true accident.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
when and him were in the dungeon, that came out, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. You go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Leo saved him and turned him because he was like, I can't watch you die. Basically, because he was like, loved him.
That's so cute.
and then he made him a vampire. Is it called Gangrel? What are they? Wait, what? Gangrel
is just a clan.
Yeah, the clan.
Mm-hmm. So in the world of vampires, of the kindred or whatever, there's, like, different lineages of vampires that have developed different powers and different which are called disciplines. And each clan has their own, like, flavor, let's say. They have their
Ah,
weak spots. They have,
Sparta is actually a gangrel, Ivy.
yeah.
why
And now
is
you
my
guys see
pot?
now you guys see where Sparta gets his strong sense of family from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there's like 13. Well, the original vampires came from Cain, like Abel and Cain. That's the story. Cain was turned into vampire. So that was the first and the beginner of all the lineage of vampires. So he's the OG one. And then he procreated 13 childer. And each of the childer then formed their own lineage of kindred. And again, all of them have different like powers and different like characteristics and different archetypes. Gangrels are more like the animalistic clan. They're very connected to the beast. They usually show like some sort of animal features that they gain after they frenzy. They commune with animals. They can turn into ones like later on. Like all the wolfies and shit. That's a discipline that is pretty much just gangrel related. There's I think another clan that they made. Like I guess they made protein belong to
Can't
them because they don't have yeah.
can't the
Simisi in
Nosferatu
this new no. Nosferatu has animalism.
Yeah.
They don't have protein. Simisi have protein. They had vicissitude, another clan, whatever, but they have protein now.
Arwen, you're being so cute. I love
Oh my
you.
god, look at that butt.
She jumped up on my desk like, meow.
Yes, Ivy, that is. Well, he gets claws
Yeah,
whenever he
baby.
frenzies.
You're my baby. Yeah, Mama loves
So
you.
whenever, like, for example, there's like all clans, like they all have their own powers, right? Like the claws or whatever. That is something that comes after. But as they have like clan disciplines, they have banes as well that are clan related, and banes are like the weak spot. It's like the Achilles tendon, pretty much. It's like that clan has a problem with this situation. So whenever a gangrel frenzies, they obtain a feature from an animal. It can be like huge fangs. It can be like pointy ears, like bat ears that come out. It could be like a fur on their face or whatever. They keep that for a night. If I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a full night.
it lasts for a night.
But that's what happens. Like for Nyx's clan, for example, they can't be around things that are not pretty enough because they get like literally penalized. So when she was in the swamp area with the crow lady, I don't know if you were there, Ivy. I don't think you were, but like our group in Coterie went to get some like fucking like special weapons from this like really creepy old lady in the swampy area of like New Orleans or like around New Orleans or whatever. And Nyx for the first time was like, nope, I feel sick. I'm not gonna go anywhere. She stayed in the car. She couldn't even get out. Obviously I chose to roleplay it that way. Like, but yeah, that's my bane.
Yeah, the bane is
Colette-
something that like kind of up to the storyteller to incorporate. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Colette and like Alejandro instead, if they're provoked or shamed publicly, they will frenzy
Arceus.
on your ass and they will try to beat you until you're a pulp.
Yeah,
So-
they'll beat you up.
Sparta's is basically the mildest of the Banes here because he just uses it as a weapon. Basically.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of what a lot of the gangrels do because they're so in touch with their beasts. Like they like to have that rapport with their beast. Like they're the most animalistic ones, so like they do relate, and they're not scared of the beast, of the predator, the supernatural predator that drives their existence, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, so the every clan has a different bane. And that's why like a couple of times like when Alejandro has been like cuz it's not just physical like being provoked physically, it's like it can be an emotional thing too, like if they are embarrassed in front of a group or it's mostly if they are spoken down to in front of someone that they consider like a leader, then they get really
Or
upset.
ridiculed publicly, right? Stuff like this.
Yeah. But I've actually never have had Colette trigger her bane. She should have triggered her bane multiple times with Alejandro and his nonsense, but I was like, I don't really want these two to fight right now.
Well, out of the two, only Alejandro's actually had his bane
He
come into play.
He was
And-
hungry. He was hungry. I think it was a hunger 4 when that Bane got triggered.
Yeah. So that also
Yeah.
plays a part in
yeah,
it.
Alejandro was struggling.
But yeah, like
I mean, which is relatable to humans, right? Hangry. I'm hangry.
yeah, very much so. So yeah, your speculations on Lindsay and why she has the history she has with the Gangrels is pretty accurate. They don't really trust her, and they don't. While they respect Leo, obviously they don't like the fact that he trusts her.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, honestly, even if it's like a diablerie is accepted during the hunts and stuff, it's still not seen as something. I mean, it's not good. It's probably the most taboo things to do, especially in the Camarilla. People don't like it. They look at you different if they know. They're like, "Oh, sheesh, you freaking were like you killed one of us and you took everything from them. You just didn't decapitate the person.
No sip.
You literally took their lives by like pretty much like doing what they do to like humans, you know? I feel like there is a sort of like I don't know if I can trust you really. Like fucking sucked somebody dry, man. Like, you know.
Right. And the Gangrel hold a grudge.
Yeah, and them being already like kind of like a more separated clan too, just that likes to keep to themselves as well. I feel like it would make sense that they would have even more like, bitch, who are you?
Yeah. Not feeling Lindsay being there.
No.
But Lindsay does have a good relationship with Leo. And obviously, I swear to God.
Stop!
Stop it! Go away.
Chaos.
I don't know why cats do this, but like if they do something and then they're like and then they like look at you like what?
Like they're surprised that you caught them.
I'm not supposed to be doing this? Oh, you don't want me to scratch this.
Oh my
God.
All cats do that. My cats do the same shit. I catch them doing something, they look at me like, what?
I thought this was okay.
I thought this was fine.
Gosh. I swear, look at my poor curtain. Why do you do this?
It's a distressed curtain now.
Yeah. It's just added a style to it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You don't need to pay for it. You have a cat to do it for you.
Sweet.
Was
Go ahead.
gonna ask Fen, did we have any questions
Oh yeah.
from the last episode?
Actually,
Because you're the one that have access to it.
Jess put down a cute, like, fun question, like a random question, asking, where would your characters go for a holiday vacation if they could go? That's kind of like a cute, fun, like question,
it.
you know, lighthearted question.
Where would Colette go on vacation? Colette would go wherever Ashley wanted to go. Let's be real. Colette is fucking whipped. I feel like if Colette went on vacation, she would most definitely be with Ashley, and Ashley would probably be the one planning everything, not Colette.
True.
Colette would just be along for the ride.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
And Ashley, I don't know. I feel like she would want to go somewhere like France or something.
Nice.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like traveling as a vampire would be a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Because, like, me as Fenicia, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach, you know, like,
Yeah.
but as a vampire, what the fuck are you going to go to the beach for? You
Yeah.
can't be in the sun. I mean, it's nice, you know, like, especially if you're in somewhere secluded, you see, like, the beautiful sky with the Milky Way and whatever. I love, like, you know, seeing that when I'm, like, on vacation, like, at a beach that is secluded and no light pollution and shit. I love seeing what is actually up there that we don't get to see because of light pollution in cities and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But as a vampire, it would be, like, very different. Maybe Northern Europe, because it in winter. Long nights.
Yeah, it would be so different because think about traveling as a human. You go sightseeing and to eat food. And as a vampire, half of the shit that you probably want to see is going to be closed because it's nighttime. Yeah. And you can't eat. So who cares about the food? So I feel like you would have to go traveling for other reasons. Like, I could see, like, traveling because maybe, like, events. Like, there's, like, certain events, like, vampire events that you know of.
There's, like, a big congregation of Camarilla, like, in a big Camarilla city, and, like, a bunch of emissaries and people from all over the world come and meet.
Yeah, shit like that.
Like, it's like a Camarilla con.
Or, like, the...
Yes. Oh, yes. That is now a thing, the Camarilla Con.
Is there going to be a costume prize? Everyone dresses in centuries, the century they were embraced. We'll have a prize at the end of it.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm going to write a note for next season. Camarilla Con. First ever.
You know?
Bad Cat is surprised that it's bad. Jesus. I want to see her face. I was too focused on yelling at her.
It was so fucking funny. She looked at you like, and she did the like
she tried to get away and she was stuck. Jesus. Oh. It's because she wants a TREATS.
Mm-hmm.
And she's bugging me.
We don't say that word.
No. We don't say that word.
Say the special word. It's like not.
If I do, then she really will be up my ass. But yeah, it's always around this time, like 11, 12 o'clock, she gets like really feisty and wants a little snack. Even though there's food in her bowl. Whatever. I know it's cracking up. Sparta was like, chaos. uh,
No, because I have two kids too, and they do that shit all the time. Like Marla, whenever she does like her nails on Bernadette, she always like if I'm close by, she'll look at me and like kind of hang there, like, and I'm like, just go ahead. She's destroyed already. It doesn't matter anymore. Like once I move from here, this is gonna be done. The Bernadette is gonna be left on the side of the road probably. So
She broke you.
It's your chair now.
Yeah.
What about you, Sparta and Mimsy? Where would your characters go on vacation?
I feel like Sparta would go camping somewhere remote and drag somebody along with him. Just because he is like an outdoorsy guy.
Define that. Sounds like you're like drag a human along. You're like, you're gonna go camping with me, sucker.
It would either be like a friend or a family member, but he'd be like, we're going camping. And then he'd just disappear into the woods or into the mountains. Or even if he's camping on a beach, but somewhere outdoorsy. So he
yeah,
would,
no, love you, Sparta, but Nyx is never gonna go camping with you unless it's glamping.
I
Unless
loved
it's
her
glamping.
comment. This is like glamping.
right? I could see him like dragging Alejandro or even dragging Lizzie along and just being like, let's go camping.
Like, listen, I'll go camping with you if it's glamping. If we have like a cute tent with fairy lights and shit, and like I'm down with that. But like otherwise, no, I'm not going. I'm sorry.
I feel like it
No,
would
it's
be
not
hard
camping.
for vampires to camp because you'd have to have a certain setup to protect you from the sun during the day. A tent
Trailer.
wouldn't protect you.
Yeah, no, a tent wouldn't protect you. But I guess there's like ways. There
I
was
could
like
see him
a
moving like a trailer or something with blacked out windows.
yeah, probably like a trailer, or if you really want to go survivor style, like you just find some
Or something.
either a cave or you build like a
Hole in the
little
ground.
hole in the ground. Yeah, yeah. A lot of
No
game rules
thanks.
do that in the middle of the thing they just borrow,
I'm good.
like a fox.
Yep.
Not my
Disappearing
idea of camping.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna like sleep in the hole. Like, thank you.
Right?
It's cozy in here.
I'm out.
Yeah, no, thanks. What about you, Mimsy?
I think Alejandro would probably end up in like concert areas. I think, like either concerts or going to raves.
That's actually a good point because those are all nocturnal activities.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Mhm. Concerts, raves, or even just
Blood
meetups.
sprinkler.
Blood sprinklers.
God damn it.
I'm gonna make it happen, by the way.
Yeah,
That's what Nyx is gonna be doing on her break, 2-year break. She's gonna start organizing Blade style parties.
She'll have a house soon. Maybe she'll have a blood basement. Or guys, you want to come over for a party? We like go down into the basement. Just It's like fucking.
Sparta has
Ashley's like
paint,
mortified.
right?
I said it. I was like, listen, like, Ashley can do her like fancy, like kind of old school performance, whatever. Nyx is gonna bring like the edgy shit to the equation. She's gonna be the edgy Toreador. She's gonna be the Toreador doing parkour to go look at the sky, night sky at night with Sparta. Probably we already planned it.
And I could just see Sparta with that glow in the dark body paint. It's just blood raining down. Light
Oh
flashing.
God.
Honestly, I feel like Ashley would kind of be into that. Like if it was like a rave type scene.
Yeah, definitely. It would be like rave parties more
Yeah.
than like anything like
Yeah.
performance or whatever. Sure, like we can have performances, but fuck that. Like we're gonna party hardcore. Yeah.
It reminds me of I was just
Like
watching.
Berlin, you know, underground rave scenes
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah.
there
Yep.
was this scene, and I've just finished watching the originals season 5, and there was a scene with Elijah where he brings his girlfriend to, like, they call it group feedings, and it's basically like a big rave, and at a certain point, like, there's a bunch of vampires there too, and they all start feeding on the humans that are in there, and it's just like this huge, like, frenzy feeding time, and all the vampires eat the people.
Yeah, no, they do that in the Sabbat a lot.
It reminds me of the Succubus Club from LA by Night. The Succubus Club that they do. They have something similar.
The ministry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it the ministry?
No. I don't think she's in the ministry. I can't remember. I thought she was a Ventru. The lady who leads
Satine?
it. No, she's a Toreador. No, that's something different. The Succubus Club isn't the ministry. The Succubus Club is led by, I don't remember her name. She's a Toreador, though. And it's just like, it's a rave party that they, like, do all over the place. It's like a traveling rave, basically.
And you have like a bunch of high vampires because it's a rave, so they're going to be feeding on people that are high.
Oh, hell yeah. Vampires finally can party too. They can get fucked up.
I want to
Bring
get
in the,
chocolate
like, the
wasted.
humans. Like, I miss it. Like, I was in Europe. I lived in Europe for a little while, and you could go, like, and take a train in 4 hours. You were, like, in another place in Europe. So easy. Milan to Berlin, I think it was like 6 hours train, 7 hours train ride. You know? And there were some cool things in there, like the structures underground. So freaking cool. Like the abandoned big buildings, like factory buildings that have been abandoned, and then they, you know, do raves, illegal raves in there. It's fantastic.
Yes.
So after the memorial, everyone's leaving, and Nyx gets summoned by Isaiah and decides to take off. Which I had a feeling she was going to do as soon as everybody was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I was like,
Yeah.
That's cute. Try and stop her.
I thought she was going to do it immediately, though.
I
Before people started.
wasn't sure if she was going to tell them because he said come alone. But
yeah, no. I actually had to decide because I was like, I wanted to, like, make it super clear that, like, that's where she felt like she belonged with the coterie, and, like, she felt like she could trust them, and hopefully, like, you know, even though, like, she had to kind of fleet to get out of the the way because they didn't want to let her go by herself, like, you know, she decided to tell because she's like, no, this is important, and this could be, like, the time where we finally get our hands on this guy as a group, try to solve the situation, and possibly get myself, like, you know, like, okay, you're done, you helped getting this guy, you're officially 100% accepted, you're great, fantastic, you know, she's a tryhard, guys, like, let's not forget. But I feel like that was, like, her way of, like, showing complete loyalty to them in the city, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if she was gonna say anything or not. It didn't necessarily surprise me that she did, but I did have a feeling that she was just gonna fleet away because I knew that if she did tell them, they were gonna be like, yeah, no, that's not happening, like, we're going with you.
Well, it makes sense though, because as a coterie, we have started coming together. So they're like, and plus everything that we had been through with these people, there was no way Colette, Alejandro, or Sparta was going to be like, yeah, that's okay, you can go.
Yeah, sure. Go have a chat. Call us later. Let us know how it goes. Like, no.
Not happening. And then, I
Um,
don't think it was that they didn't trust her, but they were just like, these assholes are crazy.
they don't trust him.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think Nyx ever thought that they didn't really trust her. I feel like it's like it's been pretty clear, but at the same time, like she also, I feel like, yeah, Nyx just needed to like see him
Be her
by
vamp daddy.
herself. Mhm.
Damn, Daddy.
And understand what the fuck, and she's not thrilled
Arwen,
about it. She's like, I
stop.
honestly no. I'm like, I'm good. I prefer my family over here. They're like, I do have, you know, somebody that speaks in riddles like you, Daddy, but like at least he's
True.
not trying to destroy the city. You know, he's a little problematic. Alejandro is a little problematic, but at least he's not trying to murder everybody to go and like do checkmate to what? To what? Yeah, checkmate at the end too. Like that, like was like, excuse me, what?
Yes, that was actually pretty funny when Alejandro was like, checkmate. Everybody get out.
Dude, that was another moment that broke me.
Yeah,
So
I was not
fucking
expecting that.
Steve is like, Sparta like just jumps out of the window. Completely jumps out of the window. Doesn't even open the window. He's just yeeting himself like out of the window. I'm like,
Colette was like, what the fuck?
It's like,
Here
okay,
we
I'll
go
take the
again.
stairs. uh, um, but yeah,
Same
so
window.
Nyx arrives at the house. And of course, Isaiah is not very forthcoming with information. And doesn't really answer any questions.
no.
He didn't really care to answer your questions or shed light on anything that was going on, other than the fact that he was clearly attempting to, in some type of way, take over the city. Then we have, you know, the whole torture thing and then Sophia, which was leading places. But
Spicy.
Isaiah decided not to let that happen either. It's like, okay, that's enough.
Isaiah is just boring. He's just a boring dude that is just like a megalomaniac.
I mean,
Very Machiavellic megalomaniac.
he's
Careful
been
what you
alive
say
for
now.
like 500
Ever.
years. I feel like you're not that interesting anymore at that point in life.
No, you're probably just so detached from everything.
Yeah, you're just there, existing.
You experienced everything, so you're just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna sit on the couch and watch TV.
It's like, you know what we're gonna do for these next 100 of years? We're gonna plan to destroy a whole
Plan.
city.
Just for 100
Mhm.
years.
Just for like 100 years. So like, you know,
No big
just to
deal.
spend a century, you know, doing something, an activity.
Oh,
Sweet.
sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. Yeah.
Sounds like writing a research paper for 100 years. No, thank you. I'm good. I am good.
And Nyx had a big brain idea with the phone.
Yeah, she did, which paid off later, which I like kick myself because I was like, fuck, I wish I would have had him say something different. but it's fine. I'll have to do something else creative to get you guys pointed in the right
Oh
direction.
boy.
But
Creative.
creative.
Scared.
It's gonna fuck us up.
Yeah, right. Something creative that is gonna fuck everything up, guys.
So the coterie they go and arm themselves and pick up Ashley and Penelope and reach out to Lindsay, or well, people who can get in touch with Lindsay, and make their way to the house. And before they can even get into the house, a surprise is waiting for them outside. And the twins and their lovely little monster is with them.
Nobody wanted to fight him.
No. So it started with a conversation, and then basically they were like, yeah, we're kind of done talking to you. We don't want to talk anymore. And they started fighting. And to be honest with you, I obviously didn't use those two's powers like at all. So I definitely feel like if I had done that a little bit more, then that fight would have been just a little bit harder.
No, for sure.
But
if you use any Oblivion discipline on top of the Wraith and use the Wraith more,
yeah.
it would have been a lot more complicated.
But it wasn't necessarily, I didn't necessarily want it to be, they could have very easily won and overpowered you guys. But I didn't necessarily want it to play out that way. That's why I was like, I'm just going to have them fight, like proper fight. Like they're going to try to attack you with weapons and things and then maybe throw in their abilities here and there. Like he did with Sparta when he blinded you and touched your face.
That actually brings up the question that I wrote down.
Yeah, go for it.
Did you expect either Vincent or Violet to die in that fight?
No.
Or was that a surprise?
Neither one of them were supposed to die. But your roles were too good to not make it more punishing. It wouldn't have been fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you
Very
were
true.
rolling fucking... I mean, everyone was rolling pretty decently, but you were rolling, like, amazing.
Sparta has a huge dice pool, 12.
Yeah, so...
No, Sparta, whenever he has everything activated and, like, the strength or whatever boosted up, it's, like, insane.
Yeah.
He's, like, pretty OP in, like,
Which,
combat.
honestly, it could have been really easy for Vincent to get away because all he would have had to do was summon his shadow thingy, and you would have been incapacitated. Anyone in that radius of that would have been incapacitated. So, but like I said, I didn't want to use because I know that their abilities are like super OP, and especially when you have two of them together, and they're old as fuck, so they both had really high level shit. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna have them fight and see like how things go. And that's why when Violet, because Vincent probably would have gotten away during the frenzy that Colette caused. And when he ran, I was just going to have him run away and not come back. And he would have been gone. And then I was going to have Violet shadow step like she did. And that would have been both of them basically being like, okay, we wave white flag, we retreat, you win. But Vincent couldn't get away because you had a hold of him. So I was like, that was kind of in my mind. I was like, he's probably going to die because he can't get away right now. Like he is grappled. And Violet, no one had a hold of her at all. They were just fighting her, And so that when she started seeing, like when she started getting really injured and she was seeing that Vincent was really injured, that's when she shadow stepped away. And then you guys didn't, when you shadow step, you basically disappear and you appear in a different area in the shadows.
You literally step inside the shadows and you teleport into other shadows of your choosing.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
So
cool.
she shadow stepped into that house. Into so you guys would not have been able to see her at all. She was hidden in the shadows of that house that they originally were in. So she was able to get away, and then I was like, there's just no way that Vincent can get away right now. So that's why I was like, okay, well then he's gonna have to die, which is fine. Whatever.
One less scary asshole like out of the way.
Yeah.
He got his head half cut off and then punched off.
Yeah. I can just see, like, in my mind, like, Colette flying through the air and bam! Kong! His head just, like, flies off his shoulders. Because, yeah, decapitating a vampire is hard. You have to do over 10 damage. And daggers don't cause that much damage. They cause, like, 2 damage, I think. Plus whatever modifier with your rolling, which I didn't even have you roll. So I was like, I'm just going to have, like, Colette finish the job and punch his head off. Otherwise, you're going to be, like, sitting there for a long-ass time, like, sawing his head off.
I thought it was awesome.
I'm going to fucking grab 2 medium-sized katanas, and that's what Nyx is going to go around with.
Yeah, sadly, daggers don't cause a whole lot of damage. And if you're trying to decapitate, you have, like I said, you have to cause more than 10 damage to that area to actually decapitate them, which is a pretty significant amount of damage. And if your daggers only do 2, then... Yeah, which I always doubled yours because you have 2, so that's 4. Mm-hmm. So then but that's still 6 points of damage that you would have to get from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's hard to decapitate with them.
Unless I get like 6, which would be impossible for me to get like 6 over, like a win over somebody else.
Yeah. Wouldn't be able to. Yeah, so you have to have a different type of weapon.
The disciplines that like boost up like potence. I don't have potence.
Yeah, make yourself stronger
because
and
that
shit.
like I think that makes like your attacks a little stronger or whatever. It does give you like a plus something on the attacks, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if it applies only to brawl or if it goes to anything physical, because at the end of the day, like melee is still physical. Like it's not ranged.
It's all melee, I believe. It just doesn't affect your ranged attacks.
Yeah, but even if Colette hadn't punched off his head, I was gonna have Sparta try to tear his head off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to die at that point.
Yeah, the reason why I did it is because she had prowess activated, and I knew that like Colette's already strong, but then she had that activated, which adds like 4 more dice to her already large pool. So I was like, even if I rolled for this right now, I probably, because he couldn't move, he couldn't defend himself. So I was like, he's not going to be able to like defend himself against this. So that's why I just kind of had it an automatic win because of the situation. If he would have been able to like defend himself or do something in that moment, he was also in the middle of a frenzy. So he wasn't in his right mind. So I was like, he's just fucked. He's a goner. He's dying. Which is, like I said, that's fine. I
finally got one.
I didn't necessarily care if either one of them died. I just didn't go into it planning on them dying. I planned on them getting hurt and retreating. Because that's typical for a vampire. Very few vampires will actually fight to the death.
Yeah.
They will leave.
Unless it is like a challenge. They have been like, I think there is like an exception or something.
A duel or something?
Trial by duel or something. Like with Thrones.
No thanks. But yeah, most vampires their survival instinct is gonna kick in and they're gonna leave and they're like, I don't want to die. Like, No thanks. So very few vampires will actually fight to the death. I think there has to be like a special situation for that to actually happen. Most of them will retreat. So that's originally what I was planning on doing, is just having them retreat and being like, okay, cool,
But
peace.
Sparta wasn't having it. He was like, I'm going to hold on to you and you're not going anywhere.
Yep. So our first proper fight takes place. One question to go sort of with that: were you guys expecting to win that fight?
No, not at all. I thought we were going to get our asses handed to us. And that we would have to retreat. I actually thought that you were going to have us, like Colette, Alejandro, and Sparta, retreat without Nyx. Because she was in the house at the time. So I thought you were going to have us leave her there and then try to figure out how to get her out at another point.
I mean, no, because Violet and Vincent already had their sights on you guys. They knew who you were when you showed up. And they were like, we're doing this. We're fighting.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean is I thought we were going to fight them, but get our asses kicked and have to retreat.
Yeah, but I think the only thing with that is like it wouldn't have made sense for Nyx to just stay in the house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they heard everything that was going on outside. Eventually, when the guns started going off. Maybe not the actual fighting, but the guns for sure would have drawn the attention, and they would have probably come out on their own.
True. But I mean, with Isaiah, we still don't know everything he can do. So he might have stopped Nyx from going outside.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. But apparently he was just like evaluating the like how much like Nyx was important or what the fuck ever. And Nyx is like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm just new here. Nobody really gives a fuck. Like, I'm just a tryout. In her mind, Nyx is like, I just try very hard, okay? I want people to like me. I'm an entertainer.
See, that's why I wish that I would have had... I originally had an idea of what I was going to have Isaiah say, and then it just like went out of my head. And that's why I wish that I would have had him say something different at the end to actually explain why you were there, because you think, oh, I'm not that big of a deal, but that was a distraction, you guys.
Yeah, no, and that's what Nyx like said at the end.
So
she's like, well, it's not checkmate for us here. This checkmate is something else.
Yeah,
and
like obviously whatever he was doing worked, and he got a whole group of people to come to this location and distracted them for a significant amount of time, because it takes you 30 minutes to get to there. You're 30 minutes away from the city right now. Mm-hmm. And you spent all of that time fighting Vincent and Violet. So it's been, what, probably at least an hour, if not more?
Yeah.
And it's going to take you 30 minutes to get back to wherever you might need to be.
It's like at least a few hours.
So
in total.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have established that in a few hours, you get a lot done.
Yes.
Especially if you have been planning this for the last 100 years or however long this fucking asshole has been planning for. Because, like, this has been a long time in the making. And I'm like, okay, bitch, like, somebody has been trying to, like, not get bored, right? We're not that different, I guess. You're bored, I'm bored. Everybody's bored. Isaiah. I really, like, my dream is for Nyx to be able to decapitate him.
Yes.
Herself. Like, honestly, after dealing with him, like, that's what she wants to do. She's like, I'm over this guy.
Turn his ass to dust.
I'll take from him what he took from me.
Um,
And also solve his, bored problems. He's not gonna
Be
have to
bored
worry
anymore.
about it anymore.
I don't think Isaiah is bored.
No. I'm just joking. I don't think he's bored.
I don't
he's
think
just
it has
going
anything to
through,
do
like-
with him being bored.
No, I just joke. I know that he's not that, like, he's not stupid. He has been planning this for way too long for him to be just bored.
Yeah. This has
There has to be
much
something
deeper
personal that we
meaning.
don't know.
Yeah. Otherwise, this is a lot of effort to go to for someone who's just bored.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you can also have like the
risking your
psychopathic,
life.
like type of like personality. I've seen it, but I guess like that would be more aligned with a Sabat type of like threat.
Yeah.
It's like, Isaiah, who hurt you?
You're like, honestly, I hate the Camarilla. I hate your city. We're gonna attack you next. Let's spend the whatever 50 years organizing a haste and fuck you up, bitches. That's what
I know what
did
it
for my
is.
campaign.
He wasn't invited to Camarilla Con, and now he's bitter.
That's it. Yep.
He wasn't a VIP in the Camarilla Con, so he's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I want my respect.
I want my respect.
Now you all have to die.
You will respect me.
You will respect me, motherfuckers.
But yeah, so it's too bad. It's just too bad that I
Excuse me.
didn't
Oh,
set
that
it
you
up
didn't.
differently. Oh, because we would be having such a different conversation right now. But that's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah. But one thing that I want to touch on, and this is kind of like, we didn't have a whole lot of time to discuss it in character because we ended the session. But this plays into my point of like, clearly Isaiah was using you as a distraction. Because like Alejandro said there at the very end, he said to Colette, Colette, our backup hasn't arrived.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that on the way, Penelope made phone calls to inform Lindsay that they were on the way to this location, and that's where Isaiah was.
We should have been flooded with backup.
yeah.
So,
And
Oh,
then the
where are
fucking,
they?
like,
where's
checkmate
Lindsay?
thing. Yeah.
Where's the fight actually at?
I think it's at the Elysium. I think we're going to end up going back to the Elysium, and there's just going to be ashes everywhere.
Oh my god.
There's gonna be a whole bunch of dead people.
Just little piles of ashes everywhere. Like,
So,
Yo.
someone's been chain smoking.
Because they even said... Right? But, I mean, the
what
message
the fuck
on the
is
phone
the
said it.
name of the guy, the receptionist?
Roman.
venture guy?
Roman.
Roman is gonna we're gonna enter and he's just gonna be like
Sweeping.
Yo.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, nothing happened here.
But, I mean, they said on
Lindsay's
the phone
not in.
at the end that they were going to kill Catalina. So I would think that Catalina would be at the Elysium. So that I feel like that's where they're
She
going.
would be. She doesn't live there.
Yeah, she
That's
doesn't.
not her place.
Well,
She has a
I mean,
house.
but Penelope called and asked for backup, and if Catalina hears that, okay, we found the guy, I feel like she would go to the Elysium because that's basically her office. So if something this big were to pop off, she'd be like, okay, it's time to go to work. She's gonna go to the Elysium and
Time to
wait
go
for
to
work. To try
Sorry,
to
babe.
get
I gotta
this
go. I
guy.
got a business call.
Business call. Gotta go to meeting in the conference room.
So I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like she would be at the Elysium.
Yeah, I could see that thought process of her.
Like, I guess if she doesn't have like any fucking type of like technology to deal with or whatever, like, yeah, it would be.
They
It
might
would
have
probably
summoned
make
her.
sense that they summoned her there to then pass the message.
They pushed all the
down and,
buttons.
like, they pushed
Exactly.
all the buttons and she came through.
Could be, yeah. Or, I mean, she could be at home.
We didn't have time to this
Discuss,
time, like,
yeah.
I need to go get my paralyzing serum or whatever from Imani.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh,
from
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah, you never went and picked it up.
Well, yeah, because like we
'Cause she
had
got
the
summoned.
memorial, and then I got summoned. So like, it's not that I.
I
Didn't
thought he
even...
told you to come back that same night, though.
Yeah, but that night we like.
What did you guys do?
It was
That
the
was the night
fucking
Lev
Lev
died.
night.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Like nobody, I wasn't even going to like. I thought about it, but I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
For her to worry
and
about
then
this
the
right
very
now.
next, yeah, that's true. You didn't really have time between then.
Yeah. Because that's like the only thing that is going to like allow me to probably like down that motherfucker if I manage to like stab him a few times. Then
Just a few
I
stab
can
stabs.
decapitate him. Even because there's still a blood hunt on his head, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If he goes back to New Orleans. Because he wasn't in New Orleans. He was in
Right.
Jefferson. And you don't even really know where he's going. Because of like
The
what
blood hunt isn't like extended to other territories or just
No.
in the city?
Yeah, that's how I understand it. Because why would it make sense for people in another city to kill him when your grievances
Yeah,
with
that's
him is
true.
in that city?
That's true. I guess like if it was like a threat to like the Camarilla
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
then it would probably be a like
Camarilla wide.
worldwide. Yeah.
Any Camarilla city.
Yeah.
I could see that, but like this isn't to that level.
Yeah, no, this is isolated to in New Orleans.
Yeah, this is just a grievance
A local
between
power
them.
struggle.
Yeah. Other Camarilla cities are kind of going to be like, cool, not my problem, bro. You figure
good
it
luck
out.
with that.
Yeah.
Pretty
Have fun.
much. It's not our problem.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Maybe if Catalina was like the Prince of Louisiana, like the entire state, then that would make sense. But for if he was like anywhere in that state, but it would still be confined to like that state. But that's originally how I set it
I
up. Like
think
if you
there
find him in
are-
our city limits.
What's the capital of the state, Louisiana?
Baton
Is it New
Rouge.
Orleans?
Oh no, it is Baton Rouge.
Baton
huh?
Rouge
Baton
is the
Rouge?
capital, yeah.
Because
part
like
is
I
from?
believe that every state or whatever has like a bigger prince. Like
It does.
it's the prince of the prince.
Yeah.
It's like
that-
a
that would make
whole
sense.
hierarchy. Like there
Catalina
is like
has a
prince
boss.
of a prince of the entirety of the United States too.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
originally
And-
I was going to make Catalina the Prince of Louisiana, but it changes like your title, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna like there are multiple princes in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever
For
other
different territories.
cities there are. Did you know that the capital of the U.S. is Washington? I did know that.
Washington D.C.
America.
I think that was like the only thing I knew, just because the capital and all that shit is there, right?
The White House.
Yeah, the White House.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you.
The capital is there. Yep. Yeah, the capital is
Yeah,
the capital.
is in the capital.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Big brain moments,
There
you
you-
know? Like
good
I have
job.
big
Proud of
brain
you.
and no brain moments.
No brain.
Like yeah, I fluctuate between the two. Galaxy brain moments
big
and
brain and
like
no brain.
zero brain moments.
Um
Empty brain.
So yeah, so Catalina might be at the Elysium. She might be at home. It did seem that Catalina was the target based off of the message that we
That
heard.
you wanted a fucking king or whatever.
And Sophia's like, does this fucking idiot really think he can kill Catalina?
I love that comment so much. I was like, Sophia, if you weren't little like torturous bitch, probably be friends or
Friends,
whatever.
yeah.
I like your attitude. You're like a spicy version of like Ashley.
So, fun fact, which I don't think this will necessarily be revealed in character, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything. But
Is Sophia like Isaiah's childer?
I was gonna say those were your brothers and sisters.
I knew it.
Yep.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I figured they were.
Yeah.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
I was wondering if you were gonna ask, like, in character and, like, try and talk to any of them and figure that out. But, I mean, it didn't really seem like the time and place. But,
No.
yeah, those were your siblings, your vampire siblings. So you have the evil, torturous sister.
that was the case. And evil, I guess maybe she's the oldest one. Because she seemed like she was leading the little group.
Others. Her little
She was the
brothers.
reigning-
We're kind of following
She was
her
telling.
lead.
Then you got Stephanie out in the hallway just like.
Was that also a sister?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them in the house were his childer.
Holy shit, he procreated like quite a good amount. Has
You
like
threw a knife into the back of
4
the head,
already, and then me, so it's at least 5.
Mm-hmm.
which means you threw a knife into the back of the head of your sister.
Fucker.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you don't have any like ties to her, so.
True.
Other than like. That's the thing is I'm interested in like learning more about how like the bond actually affects you, because it's interesting of like how strong is the bond between a sire and their childer, which I guess is just up to you to decide, and you know what I mean, like figure out.
I think it's like for the first one, it's like casual, right? A little bit more cash. I feel like also like it really depends on the sire. There are sires that are always gonna kind of like even force their childers to be very closely bonded with them, you know, and kind of use their childer as their own like little servants. Like it really depends on like what type of vampire you want to like be playing. Like I've seen it done like, yeah, the childers are all bonded like level 3.
I'm not talking about an actual blood bond. I'm talking about like your sense of loyalty to that person.
Well,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Nick, that doesn't exist.
I think it would be
He
personality.
abandoned her.
Yeah, that's
He
what.
left her to die. He said that she was supposed to be murdered anyway. Like he alluded that the plan was like, I'm gonna let this asshole Caleb or whatever get like a diablerie in him. You know, there were promise made or whatever. I don't know if Nick's really 100% understood, but it's something that like it was picked up by the phone, so like Colette or anybody else could like say something, be like, yeah, no, this is what he meant by it, because I don't know if she still understands 100% like what diablerie is and like stuff like that is.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I don't know if she would have gotten that 100%. That's why she was asking so many questions. She's like, "What do you mean?" But for her, there's obviously no loyalty. Like she got abandoned. She left to die. She was gonna just be used as a pawn, and like she's actually trying to get out of there, that place where she's just like a nobody in this
Yeah.
context or whatever. She needs to start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for her to have any loyalty to him
yeah.
after everything he's done.
I feel like it's been like a thought in the back of her mind constantly. Like it's like, you don't ever stop thinking about that person. But I don't think
Darwin.
it's very
Darwin.
influential, especially in a
Leave me alone.
situation like this. Like it would just probably get in like transformed into like resentment and anger, which are still like very powerful emotions. So like I feel like she still feels very strongly towards her sire. And I feel like all childer have kind of like a strong relationship in a way or another. It can be hate or it can be like love and gratitude and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lizzie and Leo, right? Is it
Yeah.
Leo? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sparta and his sire, very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um my point was just curious on how the blood actually affects that and if it's stronger than what we actually think. But
Mm,
I mean, obviously, I think it is just a personal decision on how you decide to play your character.
yeah.
Um, what else do we want to talk about? We've basically talked about the entire episode. Is there anything? I guess it is sort of close to our conclusion time. We can start wrapping up the conversation.
Well, we didn't ask our most shocking moments.
True. Shocking slash scary
Sure,
moments.
go for it.
I had two. When we were leaving the woods and you said, "And you're being summoned," I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Oh, I didn't think it was going to happen here." I knew something was going to happen during the episode, but right there I was like, "Oh my god, it's about to go down." And
Yeah.
that's when I was saying she's about to yeet herself away and we're not going to have any idea where she went, and now we're going to have to go hunting. And then when Vincent and Violet showed up, I was also like, "Oh no. I thought we were just going after Isaiah." And you're like, you see them up in the rafters of this half-built house. I was like, "Fuck. We're about to deal with the demon again." Those
Yep.
two those two moments I was very surprised and worried.
I think that's pretty good response to that. I think I would have been worried as well, seeing Vincent and Violet, knowing what they're capable of at this point. Oh, no, thank you. Wouldn't want to see them in the same room. That's for sure.
Nope. One was
Exactly.
already enough. Like plenty.
Both
Yeah.
together. Mm-mm.
No thanks. What about you, Mimsy?
I think also I do apologize. I have internet problems and I'm using my phone right now. So um I think seeing the two of Vincent and Violet together, because we dealt with them separately, so we didn't really, we didn't know what the hell was gonna happen because all of a sudden you're in a 5 versus 2 fight instead of 5 versus 1. Um, which was like, ah, shit. Another thing that never came up, which kind of was like, in a way, I was like, okay, this didn't come up. Cool. I'm still in the safe. Was Vincent not mentioning Alejandro being in prison?
Oh yeah.
Because that's still not something that anyone knows.
True.
I don't think he would have
I'm
really
like,
been concerned about that at that particular moment.
Yeah.
Because he already saw you before. He saw you the first time you guys were in the
Yeah, and you
prison.
pass on incognito because Sparta was there. So
yep.
Nyx, for example, just thought that, yeah, of course, like, that's where Sparta was. Like, you know, you can be plural and singular as well. So
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, he's probably
But yeah, I think,
referring to Sparta.
but yeah,
Nobody really thought about
definitely,
it.
definitely seeing both of them, both Riley and Vincent together, because then you don't know. You've seen one how to deal with him, and then you get two, which was like, gosh, do we? Fuck. Which is actually kind of funny because Alejandro, he doesn't use that many bullets, but this time he's like, fuck this. I'm using my whole damn magazine. I got backup. I got extra bullets.
Unload.
I'm like, we need to go to the Chamber of Lies and grab that like freaking bow and
Crossbow.
arrow. Mm-hmm.
Should have just stole it.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have fucking just grabbed it and be like, by the way, what the fuck is this? Hi, Jamie.
What about you, Finn? Worry / surprise / scared.
Well, surprised, I would say definitely like the whole summoning thing and like the fact that we finally realized that we had a confirmation with the last like bit that the phone picked up recorded is that like actually yeah, it's Isaiah behind all of this. It's always been him. Like he's been officially like the one, the
He is the boss.
perpetrator of all of this because we were like, what is it? Is he like working for the twins because the twins have beef? Like we still have not, that's the thing that like I think it will be important for us moving on. It's like for us to wrap this up, it's like understand what the fuck, who the fuck is Isaiah? I think that's the question. Who the hell is Isaiah and why is he so concerned about like, you know, checkmating like the prince of the city? Like does he have some personal beef with like Catalina's like family or some shit? That's what I'm thinking. Like some old beef because both of them are fucking old as fuck. So, you know, like maybe it's something, it's a resentment that was so intense, like for some reason that he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna spend like a while to like bring you down, you know, to take revenge or whatever. So
Because something clearly happened to cause such
yeah,
a long-standing vendetta.
Yeah.
yeah,
And he's obviously put a lot of effort into
yeah.
his revenge, so to speak.
And he even
100%.
went out of his way to recruit some
To
Wasambra.
recruit like some like really powerful vampires too.
And not
Because
just
I
any
bet
Wasambra.
that he used also the resentment that the twins had because again, hello, Vincent was like locked up for a long time too. To like use them for his own plans. He's using all of these kindred that he's been like putting together. It's all people that probably he's manipulating in order to like get to where he is. Like I mean the line that Sophia said, it's like how many of us need to die for you to get to where you need to go.
Right.
So like I think that was like I guess the surprising, like the big surprise of the thing we finally figured out that yes, it's 100% Isaiah that is behind this whole thing, and we needed that information because, like, I feel like as a coterie we were confusion for a second.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there were so many moving parts to the whole thing. So I definitely feel like that was like the surprise that we needed. Now we just need to figure out what the fuck is the history of this guy and why is he so obsessed with like taking down the prince. I think that is the missing link that we need in order to understand the mentality of this kindred. And then scary moments, I think honestly like the scariest moment for me was like the fucking Sophia thing, because I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to fight 3 8th-generation like older vampires than me, because hello, everybody's older than Nyx. To be fair,
True.
I'm here, there's like my daddy is right there too. You know, like he said, I'm a pawn. Like, how the fuck do I get out of the situation? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that out because that's her specialty, right? But at the same time, I didn't know what the fuck was gonna go down. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get ready to get like bondaged upstairs and like slashed into like tiny pieces by Sophia right now. You know, mentally, that's what I was expecting. And then I guess Isaiah wasn't like really impressed by the whole thing, and he's like, stop it, like you're really annoying me right now, stop it with this bullshit, kids.
Children,
stop it. Children, behave. It's not the time to play right now. That's kind of how it felt whenever he like interjected. He's like, kids, stop it, enough.
No kinky shit tonight.
Listen,
no chaos tonight.
I've been doing this for hundreds of years. I'm sick of it.
So yeah, no, I 100%. Those 2 moments were definitely like, and also like finally like gave a little bit of a, I don't know, satisfaction and like just confirmation as we're like, you know, edging the end of the chronicle. Like it's, the puzzle pieces are finally coming together a little bit, even though like we still don't have like 100% of a clear idea.
Right.
At least like we know who is 100% behind it. So that was, yeah.
Now we just have to catch the motherfucker.
Yep.
I feel like to catch, like the thing about him is that he's been so mysterious this entire time. Like, I feel like for you to catch somebody, especially somebody as powerful as Isaiah, you would have to know who he is. And we're missing that information.
Yeah. You can't one-up him because he's, like, hides in the shadows.
He's always been one step ahead of us.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows of him.
And you killed all of his connections. Lindsay killed everyone that was connected to him that you guys knew of.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not going to finish my thoughts on that.
And I'm like, very interesting, by the way. Like, very interesting choice of, like, killing everybody that is connected to Isaiah. That is not sus at all, Lindsay.
I was surprised no one questioned that originally.
I mean, Alejandro can't question that anyways.
Why do you think that I was like, hey, Catalina, do you think that, like, we should be looking out for, like, Lindsay, excuse me? Because I put things together and I was like, but, well, obviously, like, it's not, Nyx is not, like, the best detective, you know? Like, I'm not gonna big brain her that much. Like, she's good with, like, her movie shit, but, like...
I mean, even out of character, though, no one even hinted at that might have been sus.
I didn't even think about that angle.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, gotta get rid of your not dead ends, loose ends.
Loose ends, anything that can be tied back to you.
Yeah. Again, like she has to pay a debt to somebody. She knows more than we think she knows.
Yeah, Lindsay's definitely connected. We just don't know how yet. Faux show. That became pretty clear in the last episode. That she had some part to play in all of what's going on, and that how deep she's involved and whatever hasn't necessarily been revealed, like all of those connections. But I think it is safe to say that at this point, she's connected. It would be kind of silly not to think that she is involved.
I had called it like 2 or 3 episodes ago. I was like, I think Lindsay, there's some fishy in there. I'm sorry, but like Lindsay's acting sus right now.
And the fact that Lindsay's the one who's been feeding you guys information the entire time. She's been leading you guys exactly where she wants to lead you for the last 2 months.
Yep.
So
She set us up.
Yeah.
Rip.
Rip.
Well,
I am gonna start saying kind of goodbyes because I have 5% battery on my phone right now. So
yeah,
if I cut,
we're wrapping up right now. That's what I was about to do. You guys can join us over on Fenice's channel on Saturday. We will be streaming the next session. And anyone that is interested that hasn't followed the Twitch page for Night Prophecies, this is going to be where we start once this session or season is over. We're going to start with the next one on that channel. So like everything will be funneled into that channel. So we'll be heading over there as soon as this all is wrapped up in the next couple of weeks. And we're also going to have a little break. So join us on Saturday for the next session. And thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
adios.